So for a Christian, is oral sex a sin? I mean, I get the question because the Bible is not, very specific about whether or not oral sex is a sin. So I understand the question. And I'm going to respond to this in two ways. First, I want to say this. Anything, whether it's oral sex or not, anything that doesn't feel good for you, both in your body or in your mind or in your spirit, I don't think you should do it. There is no specific laid down rules of how sex should look like. You're at liberty to choose and determine what sex can look like for you. So if you and your partner say oral sex is off the table for us because we're not spiritually comfortable with it, please by all means don't do it. Now I'm going to say this. I know people say things like, oh, my mouth is for praying, it's for praying, why would I use it on the genitals? The truth is, your mouth, my friend, is multifunctional. Your mouth can pray, your mouth can speak, your mouth can eat, your mouth can do so many things. The same mouth you use to pray and do all of those things, you use it to kiss. You use it to kiss your husband or your wife on the mouth, on the breast, on the chest, on the back, on the hands, everywhere, inner thighs, everything. So why would you think that if you can use your mouth to kiss the entire body, why would you think that the genitals should be exempt? Honestly, for me, I see oral sex, and this is a personal opinion, I see oral sex as one of the purest ways of loving your spouse. Like, it is like saying, I love you so much that I want to give you so much pleasure. I want to use my mouth to pleasure you in that way. For me, it is pure. Like, it's one of the purest ways of loving your partner, and that is how I see it, right? Again, that's my personal opinion. I'm going to also say this. If you want to decide whether or not oral sex is good for you, whether it is something that you want to do because the Bible doesn't clearly call it out, first, are you and your partner agreed? Do both of you agree to do it? Second, does it help enhance or improve your marriage or sexual relationship in any way? If it does, maybe that's another indication that it might be something that you guys want to explore. Now, thirdly, is it against any specific tenets of your religion or your faith? Right? So as a Christian, does this say anywhere in the Bible that you shouldn't have oral sex? As a matter of fact, and this is open to interpretation, right? There are places in the Bible that kind of allude to oral sex and oral pleasuring, right? Using your mouth to pleasure your partner. There are places in the Bible that allude to it. But again, this is open to personal interpretation. And fourthly, do you feel any sort of conviction in your spirit? Do you feel any conviction within yourself or your spirit that you feel like you've done a bad thing? If you are going to feel guilty afterwards, please, there's no need to do it. But if you do it and you enjoy it, by all means, go ahead. So I don't think it's a yes or no thing. People will decide and come to that decision based on some of these things that they look at, and people will decide whether or not they are comfortable with having oral sex. So is oral sex a sin? I don't personally agree that it's a sin, but should everybody have oral sex? No, you don't have to. If it's not comfortable for you, whether physically, mentally, or spiritually, you don't have to, right? But if you are comfortable with it, by all means, I think you should enjoy it. What I do have a problem with is when people have a personal conviction and then try to use that as a means of telling other people to have it or not to have it. Because you think that you are convicted in your spirit or you are very convinced in your spirit that this is wrong, I don't think that it means you should tell another person to say, because I don't do it, then you shouldn't do it. I don't think you should do that. I think people should be able to make these decisions based on some of these principles that I have explained here. And of course, determine if oral sex is something that will feature in their sex life as a couple. Take charge of your life and your pleasure.